afternoon. Today we're going to be talking about some different trends in educational technology that have been emerging within our schools. Our technology has really been evolving over the last couple years, so that's what I'm here to talk about today. As we move forward in schools, there are many different technologies that are being added. When these schools adopt a culture of innovation with that technology, deeper learning becomes possible, and it really empowers our educators and students. By adopting this mindset of innovation, schools will begin to see more engagement as well as some digital citizenship. There are many different trends that are emerging in the world of education currently. Some of those involve redesigning our learning spaces, focusing on measurable learning with our online assessments and database assessments, STEAM learning, and then coding as literacy. The one that I'm going to focus on today is STEAM learning. I'm going to talk about what STEAM learning really is, some benefits of STEAM learning, and some challenges that can also exist. I overall believe STEAM learning is incredible and really should be used within education, but I also think it's important for us to discuss some of those challenges we may see and maybe how we can approach those challenges. So to begin, I want to talk about what STEAM learning is. So if you look at our second column here, we have some definitions here. Many of you may have heard of STEM learning. So STEM learning is developing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These are disciplines that are widely viewed as a way to increase our innovation and skill level in our students. So we've had this for the last couple of years, been using STEM technology, learning about those sciences, really focusing on the engineering and mathematics. Well, recently, many educators are advocating for what we call STEAM learning. This is very similar to STEM learning, but it has added on an acronym of ART. So the S is science, T technology, E engineering, A art, and M mathematics. By having this STEAM learning, we're really trying to engage students in a multidisciplinary learning that will help break down barriers that we may have seen before. And it offers learners the opportunity to make new connections with what they're learning. Educators can work across these discipline areas such as math and reading and writing to develop projects and goals that provide students with a new perspective and allows for real-world connections and knowledge and skill sets to grow. So again, that is what STEAM learning is, but I really want us to focus on the benefits of STEAM learning as well as some of those challenges. So if we go over to our third column over here, we're going to talk about some benefits of STEAM learning. So when we think of STEAM and we think of this science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, the A is really what we're focusing on here because that's what's really being added in. So that's our art. So when we integrate dance, drama, and the visual arts into subjects like math and science, we can further help students engage with subjects in new ways that they're really going to enjoy. So learning through this inquiry where they get to explore and share knowledge, and construct answers to questions, creatively design solutions to problems, by adding all of these things into our teaching, we're really giving those students an opportunity to learn in a way that they may not be used to, but in a way that's going to really engage them and help them become better digital citizens. Students begin to value the actual learning process in a way where they aren't just waiting for the outcome and waiting to learn something, but they're actually involved in what they're doing right then and there. And it leaves themselves rooms for flexible outcomes. So that means like trial and error. They're okay with trying again and again until they get where they need to get. Having initiative and wanting to learn, expressing their knowledge in ways that we never have thought of before. And it really allows the creative process and also the scientific method to kind of take place in a way that strengthens the learning of our students. It also fosters curiosity, inquiry, inventive thinking, experimentation, and multiple revisions to projects that we may not think of all the time, but is something that's crucially important for our students to understand. When we incorporate dance, drama, and visual arts into subjects like ELA and math, we help students engage with subjects in new ways that they want to do. Research have also found that learning to use artistic methods in learning increases skills such as problem solving, goal setting, and flexible thinking, which is really our overall goal. We want our students to become those digital thinkers and take those skills into the real world as they grow up. So STEAM really gives us that idea of engagement and learning skills that they might not learn otherwise. So it's definitely something incredible that we can add into our day. Again, there are going to be some challenges, so I want to just take the next minute or so to really discuss those challenges we may see. One of those is rethinking the role of our teachers. So if we look here in our fourth column, it is true that teachers are going to be expected to adapt to the technology-based approaches. They must take on more responsibility. So instead of just addressing, the objective and the test and making sure students understand, we are now also going to be responsible for addressing those social and emotional factors, mentoring our students, modeling responsible global citizenship, and many other things that we may not have been responsible before. So we have to be prepared. So that does involve us making sure that as educators, we are prepared maybe by taking classes, being trained in these areas before we can really use the STEAM learning. Another challenging is the type of thinking that we have to now teach, because as odd as that sounds, certain types of thinking don't always come naturally. So as curriculum builds, as we use the STEAM learning, it's super important that complex thinking builds as well. So this is something that teachers and also future teachers must be prepared to do so that these young students are able to learn to be these complex thinkers that think more than just what is my objective and what am I going to learn. They have to think about how they're going to do it, the problem solving, answering questions, the curiosity, the inquiry. All of these things are coming into their thinking, and we have to be prepared to teach that in a way that is engaging to them. Another area, if we look down at our third area here, is the achievement gap. This is not new to teachers. Every year we have students from all different places, right? We have students that come from different backgrounds, experiences, different family lives. The differentiation we have to do every day, that's not new. But now we have to really bring that into our STEAM learning. We have to understand that the connection these students may have with our STEAM learning, with the art, the engineering, the science, technology, mathematics, it's going to be different for students. Every student's going to be at a different level. So we have to make sure that we're still using our differentiation with these students based on where they are at and where they come to us at. So that's important for us to think about as we're creating these lessons evolved around STEAM. And finally, our last challenge that we do have to think about is our ability to sustain this, right? So the resources, funding, and time, those are all components that could be limited, and it might be difficult for us to sustain these for long periods of time. That's probably one of our biggest issues that we have with STEAM education. When we go to incorporate it into schools, we have to make sure we address those things and make sure we understand how we're going to find those resources. Where's our funding going to come from? Where's the time to train our teachers in this going to come from? So that's something that we really need to think about before we ever decide to bring this into our schools. Again, there are challenges into bringing anything into education, right? Whether it's technology related or not. But STEAM education is something that I think is so crucially important, and we must be willing to do what we can to bring this in because the benefits are unlimited. There are so many benefits that are going to benefit ourselves as educators and as students that it's something we really need to think about how we're going to bring it into our schools.